This is episode 12 of Deep in Some Thoughts, and today we're going to talk about fitness. Let's go. Thanks for tuning in to Deep in Some Thoughts, and the first thing that's on my mind today is I just got a brand new tattoo, and I didn't eat beforehand, and I was sitting there for like 6 hours, and now I feel like shit, man. And this is probably one of the smartest things I've done in a long time. But yeah, I got a new tattoo. I don't know if you can see it. It's right there. New tattoo. Right? So yeah. That's all I did today. So the guy told me it was going to be about 4 hours. So I scheduled the podcast for a certain time. And it ended up being 6 hours. So that's where we're at today. I thought about canceling, and I was like, no, I probably shouldn't cancel. So, yeah. I was going through Twitter the other day, and can anybody tell me why fucking, what's his name, Ben Affleck takes the worst paparazzi pictures I've ever seen? It's like he knows paparazzi is watching, and he's like, he looks like he just got beat up by his girlfriend, dude. You know? He just got beat up, and he went outside on the balcony to smoke a stogie, and he's just like hating life. Like in that moment, he's contemplating jumping off that balcony. You know what I'm saying? If I ever had paparazzi, dude, I'd be on it all the time. I'd be like, make sure my hair is dead. Make sure my beard looks good. Make sure I ain't blinking ever. You know? I'm never going to blink if I got paparazzi. I'm just going to be like this all the time. Like, hey guys, want to take a picture? You want to take a picture of me? Go for it. So yeah, I don't have too much to talk about today. I went back to work. That's one thing. I was off for 3 weeks, and going back to work was like getting hit by a train, because I have to go back to night shift. And then they're like, "Hey Juan, do you want to work some overtime?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I do." That was like a mistake, because I was so tired, dude, that I just, like, as soon as I get home, I'd lay down and I would be out. I wouldn't do anything else. So, actually, that's a lie. So, I started working overtime, and then every single day this week, I had something going on to where I actually didn't get to go to sleep as soon as I got home. So, on Tuesday, I'm not going to say too much about this because I don't like to talk about where I work, but this was kind of for work. I did a photo shoot type thing of a press conference with the congressman. And taken completely out of context, it's probably going to be a little confusing, but I thought that was a good opportunity for me, you know, maybe get some photos of the Congressman Grijalva. And yeah, so I thought that was a good opportunity. You know, just went over there, took some pictures, and then the next day I slept like a couple hours, and then the next day I had to do something else, and then the next day I had to do something else again. So I think throughout the whole week I slept probably about 6 hours. So I mean, during my whole work week, I slept about 6 to 8 hours, which is, it's always it's always good for your health. Which, moving into that, we're going to talk about health and fitness. So I do have a special guest today, and this person is a really good friend of mine. I mean, we haven't really talked since like high school, but we were friends back in high school. We follow each other. We talk to each other here and there. I see him at his work all the time. And yeah, let's get into it. So this is my good friend, Xavier Robles. Javier, say hello to the people.
What's going on, everyone?
What's going on?
Yeah.
He is my friend from high school, and he has a YouTube channel where you talk about health and fitness, your own personal health and fitness, and your fitness goals and motivations and all that good stuff. How's that going for you?
You know, it's been pretty good. The whole purpose of me doing this, like YouTube and focusing on my health and fitness, was really to give a realistic view of what it's like to go through a weight loss journey.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that bothered me the most when I would want to start losing weight is I'd see those commercials like from Beachbody, where you'd see the person with the before and you just see the after photo,
and they're like fucking ripped
and they're
as
ripped.
Fuck.
Yeah.
How long did that take?
Exactly.
Bro? Yeah.
And for me, the thing that was the worst is you don't see that journey, right?
Right.
You just see the immediate before and after, and you feel like you get a motivation for a few days, and then you just kind of dies down because you're like, oh, this is too hard, this is too difficult.
Right.
And you just kind of give up.
Yeah.
And so that really bothered me, and I felt like I had nothing I could relate to. Every time I would search for weight loss videos, Instagram tags, anything, I would see maybe a couple photos, maybe potato quality videos of people maybe doing a quick sporadic show of their journey. And it's like 3 minutes long, and you kind of get excited, but you don't really see their struggles that they're really going through.
Yeah.
And so for me, I was like, man, that's just that person. They're very unique. They can kind of just reach those goals, and that's that.
Yeah.
And so I kind of realized for myself, for years, I wanted to really focus on losing weight, and I would talk myself into it for a week, and then I would immediately jump off the train.
Yeah.
And it would constantly bother me. And I don't know what it was, but there was a point where it was really hindering my personal life, because I think mentally I was getting heavier, and I kept wanting to be thinner.
Yeah.
And I just knew it wasn't happening. And because of that, it was taking up a lot of my mental strength, and I realized it was affecting my personal relationship with my partner too, and that really sucked. And so I was like, you know what? I need to do some change. So one day I was just like, I'm just going to get up and I'm going to do some form of exercise. It wasn't even about the diet, right? So I downloaded this app that's by Under Armour. It's called, that one's not Under Armour. It's just called Couch to 5K. It's called the app. I think there's multiple versions of it. But the whole purpose of the app is basically you go from being a couch potato to running a 5K in about 8 weeks. And that's like the goal.
8 weeks.
Yeah, and that's the purpose of it.
Okay.
Now, the way they get you to do it is they make you start running in increments. So it'll tell you to walk for 2 minutes, jog for about 25 seconds.
Okay.
Then walk again for a minute, so on and so forth. You do it for about 25 or 26 minutes. And I can tell you, I went maybe a quarter of a mile. Like, that's as long as I really got within that 25 minutes. And I felt exhausted.
Yeah.
And I think that was like a big wake up call for me. Because one, I was like, yo, I did this. And I wasn't sitting on my couch doing nothing.
Yeah.
But two, I am completely out of shape. Because all you think about is when you were fit. And in high school, that was probably the fittest I ever was, because I was forced to run in PE. Like, I didn't choose to exercise at all.
Yeah.
So when I started to do this, I was like, man, I could probably, increase and get better. Like, there's no way I can get worse than where I am right now.
Yeah.
Right. So I notated that, and I was like, you know what I really should do is I constantly give up, right? Like, within a week. And for me, I decided to just take it to an extreme. I was like, I'm going to create an Instagram. And I'm going to take a photo of myself, and I'm going to post it once a week. And I'm going to try to post a video once a week, because if I try to tell someone I'm doing something and I'm like, yeah, I'm working on my weight loss and stuff, I don't really have an excuse. If I'm like 20 weeks in and I don't look any different from week 1 to week 20,
right, that
means I'm just lying and like just being bold.
And it kind of helped you. I would assume that starting a vlog or YouTube channel, it kind of helped you stay motivated to okay, get your workouts in so you can make your video and then you can post it. That way nobody, you've already posted it and you're like, you put it out there and you're like, here's my first video. And then next week you don't have a video. Everyone's going to be like, okay, Javier, I see you, dude.
Yeah, 100%. I think a big thing was when I started to post my videos, I didn't really get any views, right? Because I'm like, who's going to want to watch someone who's just starting the journey, right? Like, I'm sure for me, once I get to the fitness goal that I want to get to, people will go back and watch the beginning. And that's kind of the purpose. It's kind of like my video diary of what happened in my life, how I was going and doing things. And then, you know what? When people have that same journey and they want to go along with it, go back, watch the beginning. Yeah. I'm in your same boat. And that was like a really big thing for me. And I think what helped a lot is when I did the Instagram, for you, when you're losing weight, you honestly don't notice the progress as much, right? Yeah. Like you just feel really heavy. You may notice maybe you can run a little bit faster, but physically you see yourself every day. So seeing your weight drop, you don't really notice until probably, for me, 30 pounds down. And I know it sounds like a lot, but for me, it was more of on Instagram, people would comment and they'd be like, yo, your face looks thinner. And that was like after 3 weeks. And I'm like, that doesn't really make much sense. But I mean, I'll believe you. Like, that's really nice that you say that. Yeah. And then people would constantly do that. So even posting the photos, it really was a way for people to reach out and be like, I'm really motivated that you're able to do that, or like put it out there. Your face looks a little thinner, whatever. And as I started doing more research, I'm like, oh, it probably is because I'm not taking as much sodium, whatever. But as I started the fitness, I realized that my biggest issue wasn't necessarily getting up to exercise, even though it was really hard. For me, it's the diet, right? I ate so much crap growing up, and I think it was just a emotional support crutch, whatever it is. Like whenever you feel stressed or anything, I would always resort to food. Right. My weight has always been kind of up and down, so I really got like really plumped in like 5th and 6th grade. I lost a lot of it in like 9th grade, but I still had some pudge. Like I didn't feel confident taking off a shirt or anything. Right. And then
shirts and skins and PE.
And then as a side note, we did hang out more because in college we did all the Avenger premieres. That.
Yep. We sure did. So and like, I was shirtless for that whole thing.
You were Mr. Hulk.
I was the Hulk, and I was like scrawny as fuck.
Yeah, you were. Yeah. And I was nothing.
I still am, but whatever.
Yeah. So I think I just like lost my train of thought there. But
it's okay, it happens.
All the time.
Yeah.
So for me, going through basically that whole progress of how big I was and losing weight and gaining weight, I was just like, I really need to figure out where my happy medium is. And I know it's my diet, right? So I may have been losing it because I was growing in high school. Then in college, I kind of stayed the same. And then within like a couple of years, I started to gain weight. And the worst thing now is if you go to my Instagram and you look at my first photo and you look at me now, I never thought I was that big.
Yeah.
Right? Like for me in my head, I was like, you know what? I'm bigger. It's whatever. Even though I knew I was wearing 2XL shirts, I was wearing bigger pants. I was just knowing that I was enjoying the food that I was eating. Right. So I was just like, you know what? I'm independent, whatever. I can do whatever I want. And I just like this food, even though it makes me sick sometimes. And now I look at it and I'm like fully embarrassed about myself. And it's more to the level of how did I let myself get to that point? Where I just kept telling myself it's okay for me to be this big. So now where I'm at is like posting my videos each week. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good. And a big part of that was to create a new habit. Right. So for me, it was, okay, I sit on the couch every night after work. I work 9 to 5. I get home and my goal is just to eat food, watch a show, go to bed. Right. Talk to my girlfriend, go to bed. That's it. That's my routine. Don't have a lot of time left in my day. Everyone always says time management's a problem. And so for me, I was like, well, where is my time really going? Is there any point in that time that I can try to do something else? Even if it's 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Right. Like, what can I do? And so.
Or even less. I mean, you don't even need that much time to get a quick workout in.
Especially if people do like HIIT workouts and stuff, those high intensity interval training. Like people knock things out really quick and you can get yourself a good workout. It's not a problem.
I mean, I was under quarantine with COVID and like I got so bored I just started doing push-ups. Yeah. And I'm just like, I did fucking 50 push-ups in like 3 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And like, how much time does it really take out of your day to get it? I mean, it wasn't like a crazy workout to where I needed, you know what I'm saying? Like where I'm going to see results or anything, but it was just some sort of active movement that I was doing and I was just here, you know? Yeah. Just get a couple push-ups, couple sit-ups in and call it good.
Yeah. Well, even just to add to that, so like for you doing push-ups, I actually filmed myself and I think I still have it saved, but I couldn't even do a single regular size push-up.
Yeah.
Right. And that was been a struggle for such a long time. And I feel like there's an expectation out there that you should just be able to do certain exercises. And that was something that always embarrassed me, because for me, I'm 6 foot. I was a pretty heavy guy. And because of that, people just assume you're strong sometimes. Like they think you can just like lift heavy things. Like they ask me to help them move, do stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'll help you. But like, I'm going to struggle bus like through almost all of it.
You're like, you're going to do most of the work.
And you don't want to, and like you're self-conscious about it. So you don't say anything. You're like, yeah, I'll just kind of power through it. It's whatever. And recently I've been trying to work on push-ups, and I'm doing like that as a challenge right now. I know people are doing those like 25 push-up challenges for awareness.
Yeah.
But I've been just trying to do that in general. And I'm finally able to, I think right now I'm sitting at 20 push-ups. And for me, that's like a huge accomplishment. Like for me, even making 2 push-ups is already a big thing for myself. So the idea that now I can get to 20 is just astronomical. And I think it's good because I felt super embarrassed to first post it. But then I realized, I'm like, there's probably so many other people out there in the exact same boat I'm in, but they're not going to discuss it or talk about it. So just be vulnerable, and maybe that'll help someone later. And that's kind of the biggest purpose of why I do the YouTube is, one, it's a motivator for me to continue what I do. And I make mistakes all the time. I don't always eat perfectly. But if I'm going through these steps, especially with push-ups, sit-ups, any exercise, planking, I want to be able to show it so that they know that I was in your same boat. Because once I get to the fitness level I want to be, like I'd love to have abs one day, like what you see on TV and all that stuff. But if it does get to that point, you know, I don't want them to have a realistic expectation of how I got there. Yeah. You know,
and being transparent with like your viewers and stuff is important. I think, you know, because like you said, they see that, you know, let's say 10 years on the line, you're fucking jacked. You know what I'm saying? You know, those people who have been following you the whole time, they know like, okay, this can be done. And, you know, at this point, this person couldn't do a push-up. You know what I'm saying? And now he's here. So, or even now, like I've noticed, because I watch your videos often, and I notice that, I mean, your push-ups, you show yourself doing push-ups in your videos, and you have good form. And that's like an important part. If you can do 10 push-ups in good form, it's better than doing 50 push-ups with bad form. You know,
like an Arnold Schwarzenegger thing, right?
So, and that's what I noticed too, is like when I did my push-ups, I'm like, yeah, I can do 50 push-ups, but you know, half of them were just my neck moving, dude, you know?
Like, I did it.
I'm like, hell yeah, I did 50 push-ups, dude. But yeah, dude, I'm super proud of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you started this channel, you've kept up with it. And, you know, you lost, 50 pounds?
Yeah, so I lost 50 pounds in the first year that I did it. So at the end...
That was last year.
Yeah, last year. So I hit around 270 pounds starting. And that actually was my weight in April, because the first 3 months, I was really just focused about exercising.
Right.
I wasn't focusing on the diet, which, spoiler alert, it's all about the diet.
It's all about the diet.
It doesn't matter how much you work out.
Like they say, abs are made in the kitchen.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely. As soon as, like, I'm telling you, as soon as I started in April... And I just started counting macros, because that's a pretty default thing most people do. There's many other ways you can lose weight, but that's just the one I chose, because I really wanted to see how much I was consuming. And I tracked it, I think, for a week and a half, just eating normally. And I was easily eating 5,000 to 6,000 calories without even thinking about it. Right. And for my body and everything, the most I should be eating to maintain my current weight is 3,500, right? To keep my weight at 270.
Yeah.
So I was clearly overeating. And so as soon as I started tracking and everything, and the weight just started to drop, right? And I was losing like 3 pounds, 4 pounds a week, which again isn't necessarily realistic. Like they tell you to shoot for around 2 pounds a week at the max. But of course, when you're bigger, you may lose it a little quicker. And for me, I started losing it really fast, and that's where the motivation really started to kick in, right? With eating better and doing stuff.
Yeah. So what kind of diet did you do when you decided to work on your eating habits?
So I've tried many diets before, just like I'm sure everyone else has had. There was a diet I had success with in high school, which I think they call it the Maker's Diet, which was really just like a clean diet. You just basically eat meat, certain vegetables and fruits, and then you can add more later on. And I lost a lot of weight in high school from that. But when I started doing this one, my thought process was, I need to make sure that I don't cut everything out to the point where I'm just going to quit. Right. So for me, I tried to find what healthy foods or what whole foods can I eat that I already like. So even though it may sound bland, or I may eat the same thing every week, how do I make sure that I put it in there so I track it correctly? So For a while, I was just eating chicken, rice, broccoli, all those basic staples. But I wasn't eating chicken the way that most people would, where they just kind of bake it with nothing on it. I put like a marinade or something. I'm like, look, I may be eating a little bit more calories with the marinade with the olive oil on there, but at least I'm going to enjoy it and I'm going to feel full about it. And I may be able to stay more in control. And as it gets easier, maybe I'll take some things out.
Yeah.
So it was mostly chicken and stuff. And even, honestly, even sometimes I would have sandwiches with chips, but I would weigh it out and make sure the macros matched, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be cautious of that because I started to learn that you can eat those chips or whatever. It may feel good in the moment, but you're going to be hungry later.
Yeah.
Right? So you start...
Especially if you only eat a handful and then it just triggers that, chemical in your brain that you're just like, I want more chips.
If you want anything to depress you more is just take whatever your favorite food is, figure out the actual portion size in the box and pour it out and weigh it, and you're going to cry.
Yeah.
Like it's awful.
Yeah.
Like I did chips and I was like, there's like 10 chips here.
Like, are you serious?
Like I eat easily half this bag. Like that's not even a thought. And then and I think what helped a lot is as I was measuring it, I realized what a portion size was. So that's really what it ended up turning into. There wasn't necessarily a specific food that I started to eat more. I think what really helped was just making my food. Because I used to eat fast food constantly.
Yeah.
Because it was just convenient. It was quick. Even if you say like Chipotle or other places, you could eat those and you can say they're healthier. But in reality, when you look at how they're prepared and stuff, the sodium levels are astronomical, right? I think one time we got Taco Bell because you can kind of pull it in there and it'll tell you the calories. But it literally has a sodium warning on there. That literally tells you if you eat this, you're already past your excessive amount. And it was in like one little burrito.
Wow.
It wasn't even you eat the rest of the day.
Jesus.
So like those things
I don't eat Taco Bell, so I wouldn't know.
And for me, the biggest thing that I like, if I could stress anything, is for people who are trying to lose weight, find what works for you specifically and what you can commit to. That's all that matters. Because as long as you change the habit in some way, whether like for me, it was sitting on the couch and just getting up and walking. Just it's the Couch to 5K app was 3 days a week. Only 3 days. You don't have to do it the whole week. You do 3 days and you got to do it consistently for 8 weeks. Can you do that? Yeah, I could probably do that. So I would do that. And then when it came to the diet, I was like, okay, what are the foods that I like that I can make at home? Whether it's a sandwich, chicken, whatever. Okay, measure it out. Make sure it fits in your calorie range. Don't go over it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just like, that's how you need to figure out all your stuff for the day. And we would have certain desserts. We would even eat out sometimes. We would do Chipotle one night. But like with Chipotle, the bowl that I would make, if you really like laid it out, it was at least 1,200 calories. And the most I could eat in a day was, I think, like 2,200 or 2,500. And so it was
like most of your calories for the day.
Yeah. And you're just like, you better make it work. Like, and that would happen sometimes. If we're going to have a cheat meal or a cheat day, whatever it was, plan it out accordingly. Because if you just decide to, like, you're like The Rock where you just eat all of your calories in one giant meal. Yeah. And that's it. Well, guess what? He's already discussed in the past that his trainer plans for that throughout the week. He's not eating so many extra calories. He just kind of took some out from his other meals so he could have that giant peanut butter French toast, whatever he makes and stuff. So, right. And those are things I think people misunderstand. Like they will try to eat healthy for a week and then they get to their cheat meal and they just blow it all. And then you kind of lose all your progress that you make.
Well, see, that's kind of where I'm at, where I plan ahead to doing my diet, but it's only because I know that I will stick to a diet if I plan ahead. Yeah. Because like with my girlfriend, she'll be like, because I do the keto diet.
Yes. Yeah.
So I do keto, and then I'll eat good. I'll eat keto. I say good, but it's keto. Right. For a whole month, let's say, and then I have a cheat day. But instead of a cheat day, I do a cheat weekend because I know I cheat for the weekend, and then if I start fresh on Monday, in my head it's Monday through Friday. Yeah. I'm starting fresh, so that way, like when I had COVID, I didn't eat keto at all. Right. So I've been off of keto for 3 weeks now, and then like my girlfriend's like, okay, when are you gonna start your diet again? And I was like, okay, I'll start next Monday because I already have this plan in my head. Yeah. Like tonight I was supposed to get together with some people, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have an EG's or something. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I already planned ahead for that, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna start next Monday, and then that's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? If I plan to start on a Monday, I'll stick to it, rather than being like, oh, I'm gonna start tomorrow, and then I'm like, well, but I already have this that I bought last week. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Like,
well, if anything, like when it comes to losing weight and diet and stuff, when you explain it, it sounds so simple.
Yeah.
But it's all a mental game.
It really is.
And that's all it is. And that's the worst part is you are your own motivator and you're your own destroyer. And so for me, clearly my mentality was always, you can kind of do it. And then I would immediately shut myself down. So it's not an easy process mentally.
Right.
The ideas and the purpose of behind everything is very simple, but to commit to it is hard because you get used to it. You have like nostalgic tendencies of like remembering eating this as a kid, or you know, you just love these foods and it's a comfort thing for you. And now you're telling me I have to take it away.
Right.
So it's not easy. And so when I always watched in videos and like, you know, you just have to believe in yourself mentally. It just has to be at the right point in your life and just be ready for it.
Yeah.
And it's funny. Everyone's like, there's just like that clicking moment. And for me, it wasn't necessarily like, okay, let's just go do it. It was more, I remember the very first day I was sitting on the couch and I waited about 45 minutes contemplating if I was going to go out and walk that day. Right. I was just like, am I going to do this? Because I told myself January 1st, I'm going to start doing this. Today's January 1st. Am I going to sit on the couch and commit or am I not? And the year before I actually made a video. I made a starter video. And I did it for the wrong reasons. I was like trying to be like explaining what macros, all these things were. I'm like, I didn't even do them yet. So I was like, this is stupid. So I just deleted it. I was like, who do I think I am? Like, I'm not a professional. I'm not a health professional, but I should really just be focusing on showing people what it's like when you don't know anything.
Yeah.
And that was also a big thing too. I didn't want to have a personal trainer. I didn't want to have a gym membership yet. So in the first year, I think I only went to a gym a handful of times, but I didn't really use the equipment. I was mostly just using the treadmill because it was too hot outside.
I hate a gym.
Yeah.
I hate the gym.
Yeah.
So much.
Yep. And that's when I also like tried to find apps and stuff. And there was an app I used and it helped me with my doing at home workouts and stuff.
Yeah.
So those were things that really helped me because I don't know technique. Right. And so I didn't want to pay for a trainer because it gets expensive. Like not everyone can afford to pay $100+ a month. I mean, I want to support local personal trainers, but for right now, I need to figure out how to just do a basic push-up correctly. So that was always something that I really just kind of took. And I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
these are the little things you need to focus on first. Just do those and then just see where it goes. And once you start to lose the weight, I mean, it's a great motivator. It pushes you forward. But I would say 5 or 6 months into my weight loss, it wasn't even about the number on the scale anymore.
Right.
Which was really weird for me because I felt like all you think about when you're heavy is to lose the weight. Right. And then I realized for me, I was like, wait, I'm choosing to go exercise 5 days a week. That's weird. And I was like, I'm posting a video every week. I've never been consistent with doing anything personally outside of work. So I'm doing that now. So it's possible.
You've created a habit.
Yeah.
You created a habit, and now when you stray from that habit, it's going to feel off.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yep.
It's really good. Now, you probably won't believe this, but I was in your boat at one point, and I weighed so much. I weighed over 200 pounds at one point.
Yeah.
And I'm not tall.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah,
you know?
It can hit you, man.
Yeah. And, I did keto, and I lost like 60 pounds.
Yeah. I've heard it works well for a lot of people.
Yeah. Did you ever think about trying keto or?
So I never did keto because keto is, if I remember correctly, it's meat and dairy, and then like you don't really have that many carbs. Is that kind of what it is?
Yeah. Well, it's very low carb.
Okay.
Like extremely low carb.
Right.
And then you kind of want to stay, like, it depends on like if you want to do clean keto or dirty keto or whatever. If you do clean keto, you stay away from the dairy too.
Okay.
But what generally it is high fat, moderate protein, and then low carb.
Got it.
So I believe it's 70% fat, 20% protein, and then 10% carbs.
Okay. Yeah. I had a lot of coworkers who've done keto. And I think that may have what talked me out of it slowly, only because I think my mentality is I just think diet, right? I'm just thinking you can't stay keto your entire life is what my thought process was originally. I don't think I'd be against it now. But my friends would always just eat keto for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. They would see the weight loss. Then they immediately just quit because they just...
And then they gain it back.
Yeah, they gained it. Yeah. Not only did they gain it back, they gained more on top of it. And I mean, that could be with any diet in general. That's not even keto itself. Like when I go to work, everyone's always like, how do you lose weight? How do you do this? I'm like, just keep track of what you're eating. Be cautious of it. And then just try to make your food at home. Just try to make your food at home. Like a lot of them are just like, I'm just going to exercise an hour and a half a day and that's it. I'm like, guys, I did that for 4 months. I did that January through April. Didn't change my diet and I didn't even lose 1 pound. Not even one. So that was just a way for me to prove to myself mentally that this isn't all about exercise.
Yeah.
Right. So I think keto would probably work for a lot. I think for me, my concern was over the last couple of years, I think I even tried going vegan for a couple of weeks just because you watch documentaries, man, and they just get to you. Right. And I know that there's so many vegan proteins and other things out there that are good sources. And so I started to incorporate some more of those. So like vegan protein powder or other stuff. And I've liked them and I've enjoyed them, and I've gotten more protein from like beans and other things. And so for me, I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll just incorporate some of this stuff. And I'd watch things and they're like, carbs are important for you and this, and this. And I totally understand keto and ketosis and how that works and how it can help you quickly lose weight. I was like, that's so great. I think my concern was, I'm going to stop it and then I'm just going to gain everything back. Because I know at some point I'll do that mentally. So for me, I was like, I have to create a lifestyle change, is what people say all the time, which sounds so cringeworthy sometimes.
Well, it is cringy, but you know what? I was so against doing keto at first, but I looked into it and I did my research, and my parents did keto.
Okay.
And I was so against it, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not giving up my carbs. I'm not gonna eat high fat. That sounds like a heart attack waiting to happen, And then I finally looked into it, and it's like, well, you're not eating the fats that cause you to have a heart attack. You're eating the good fats, and when I decided to try it, because I was like the heaviest I'd ever been in my life, I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a month, and we'll see where we go. And after that, the more I did it, it was so easy to make it a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you said, it was cringy to say that, and I agree. It's like so cringy when people are like, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. But like in reality, it is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And if you have that mentality, then it's easier to keep that going. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I will ever stop doing keto, but there are those times where, I'm going to get off keto for a while. Yeah. I might gain a couple pounds, but I'm going to eat it. I'm going to enjoy it. But then when I stop eating keto, I feel like shit. Right. I feel like shit, and my fucking farts are nasty as fuck.
Because your body's trying to readapt back. And
yes.
It's like, what's happening
I feel bad for my girlfriend because, like, my farts are nasty, dude.
Same with beans, man. Beans make me fart all the time, so it's whatever.
Well, that's beans. Used to it. That's beans.
You just have to
beans always do that.
You have no excuse. You're just farting.
Yeah. But, yeah, dude. But, yeah, it definitely is, like you said, a lifestyle. Yep. And so is fitness. Fitness has to be a lifestyle, too. Yeah. You can't work out for a month and then lose some weight and then just stop. Right. Or you can't work out for 18 months and then get ripped and then just stop. You're like, oh, I made it, and then stop. You know what I'm saying?
And it sounds almost kind of dumb at first when people say make short-term goals. Mm-hmm. But I feel like that was what helped me the most. Because for me, I was doing my walking, right? Mm-hmm. And even though it sounded dumb, walking for 30 seconds and then jogging for 15 seconds and then walking for 2 minutes and then so on and so forth. But each week, they would change it where now you're jogging more than walking, right? Yeah. And then it gets slowly to the point where you're not even really thinking about it anymore. And at the end of the 8 weeks, I don't think I necessarily ran the 5K in the amount of time they told me to, but I was able to do a jog to the point that I finished the 5K, right? And I don't think
how far is a 5K?
So 5K is 3.1 miles.
Okay.
So, and it's 5 kilometers in every other country, but except for here, because we decided to be different. But, and I even mentioned this point, but at the end of 2018, which is right before I started my diet, because I did that January 1st of 2019, for some weird reason, I told myself, I want to see where I am with my fitness currently. So I signed up for a 5K around Christmas time. Why did I do that? I thought about
embarrass yourself a little bit.
Yeah, I don't even know why. So I woke up, I got there, I put on my shoes, I was wearing my bib, and everyone out there is clearly really fit and run all the time. Not all of them. There's some that, because it's just supposed to be like a reindeer run, so people are just kind of having fun with it. Yeah. But I was like, I want to time myself, and they always tell you don't overwork yourself. Like, don't like push yourself too hard in the beginning because you're gonna hurt yourself. But for me, I just really wanted to see how far I could get, because 3.1 miles, I'm like, it's not the end of the world. Like, it doesn't seem that long. When you look at it on the map, it's like you go forward this far and you come back, but on a map, it's really misleading. So I remember I started off the run, and I just like thought I had a good pace. In reality, I was running. Like, I thought I was jogging. No, I was full on running because I was 270 pounds, right? But I don't think that. I just think I'm in high school running. Yeah. Right. So I did it, and within, I think I was a quarter of a mile in, just kind of how I started the Couch to 5K. I was exhausted, right? And I had to like start walking. I was breathing super heavy, and I was like, "There's no way!" Like, there's these ladies with their strollers with their babies, and they're literally walking. They're like walking faster than I'm walking. Yeah. And I was like, "Man, like they can get to that fitness level. How come I am nowhere near that?" Right? Even if they have more time on their hands to maybe go out and exercise, which I don't think they would. They're moms. They freaking are going nonstop 24/7, right? They're constantly moving. And so for me, I'm like, I have a desk job and I can't even run 3.1 miles.
Right.
So I ended up finishing the race. In my age group, I was 15 out of 17 of people. So I was almost the last. I was like, hey, I wasn't last. I feel pretty good. So I finished the run, and I think I did it in... I think it was 42 minutes, right? That's a really long time to run a 5K, by the way, in reality. You don't think about it. You're just like, oh, I run it, And so that's where I was like, okay, I'm going to try this Couch to 5K app. And then I think I finished the run in 39 minutes at the end of my 8 weeks, right? And that was just me jogging without really stopping. I think there'd be a few moments where I'd stop for about a minute or two, and then I'd get back to running again. So when I saw that, I was like, I broke my record, right? I told myself I was going to sign up to do the 5K again at the end of last year. So I was like, if I can beat this record even by 10 minutes, whatever, like I'm going to feel really good.
Yep.
And after the 8 weeks, I was like, you know what? This is great. Like I did something. I feel good. And I kind of stopped running at that point because I felt like I reached my goal of beating my old record. And I found something else that I could gravitate towards too. So for me, that was trying to get into my apartment gym. There wasn't that much equipment, but I was like, just try to do some form of strength training. I don't know what the hell I'm doing in there, right? I'd look at the little posters and I'd be like, maybe I'm doing this correctly. Watch some YouTube videos, try to get some ideas. But man, you watch people like Steve Cook is a big YouTuber.
Yeah.
Nikki Blacketer. There's all these people, Christian Guzman, and they're all like working out. They know exactly what they're doing. And I'm like, I'm not at that level.
I think at that point, any sort of workout or heavy lifting will help.
Yep.
And then once you get used to getting into that habit of doing that kind of workout, then you can actually focus on, okay, what muscle group do I want to focus on, or what am I, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
One thing that you said is like a lot of people, they make short-term goals.
Yep.
And there's, plus side and downside to that too. You make a short-term goal. A lot of people think, okay, well, I hit this goal, so I'm done. It's just like everything else that has to do with diet and fitness.
Sure.
But you make that short-term goal, and then to move forward to the next goal.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if I try to run a 5K right now, I could probably do it.
Yeah.
But then I'm never going to want to do it again.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. 100%.
Like I don't have that mindset right now to go and do a 5K and be like, okay, well, next year, I'm going to do it again and then do better or not be as tired or whatever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So.
And I totally get you there. And I think to kind of add to your point, when I made that short-term goal and then I stopped it, I wasn't upset about stopping it. And luckily for me, I think because I was so heavy, there was always small goals I've always wanted to reach, like doing a push-up, doing a pull-up. So that was another goal I started to set out for myself. I got these bands gifted to me from someone that kind of help you get pulled up, just to show you how to do the motion, to teach your muscles how to do it. And I never got off the band, but I was able to go from not doing one to doing like 15 or 20 of them. And then I tried to find another goal, and I was just constantly moving. And then one day, I'm telling you this, one day I literally woke up, I went to work, I worked a long day. I came home and I was like, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to run a 5K. Why? Right? I didn't do it for months, right? I stopped and I just randomly was like, you know what? I'm going to go do it. I need to find that video because it was a really weird experience. I was like, I'm just going to get up and do it. I got my phone. I put on some music and I'm just like, my goal here is just not to stop, right? I'm not going to go fast. I'm going to try to pace myself and just see what I can do and don't look at my watch until it's done. Yeah. Right? And so I don't think I even had a smartwatch at the time. It was just my phone. So I set a timer. There's an app called Map My Run by Under Armour that I had. I downloaded it. I clicked start, and it like keeps a GPS track on it. Yeah. And I basically ran one direction, 1.55 miles, and then I ran 1.55 back. So that's 3.1 miles, right? So I did that, and I came back, and the timer, I think it said 35 minutes.
Really?
Right? And I did my last run in 43.
Wow.
And I was like, hold on. I haven't trained for this in a while. But you also have to understand, I was still trying to exercise. I was changing my diet. I'm sure the night before when I did that 5K run, I was probably eating crap. I probably wasn't even prepared. In the morning, I probably didn't eat that much. Didn't really think it through. And in this situation, I was like, I feel like I want to accomplish this goal. And so I went out and did the 5K, and then it motivated me, and I ended up doing it a little bit more and more. I didn't do it all the time because you also want to be cautious because your body can start to adapt, and then you're not really going to lose your weight anymore, which people think that.
Yeah. You really need to utilize those moments too, that you just wake up one day and you're like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And you need to do it because if, tomorrow you're not going to feel the same way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I get into those modes where I'm like, oh, I really want to start working out. I want to do this. I want to do that. And then I don't do it. And then a week later, I'm just like, Juan, you want to go work out? I'm like, nope.
Yeah. And I think
Fuck no.
Yeah. And I think it's a good actually transition point because like you can have that motivation for such a long time. And then like I lost 50 pounds last year. I lost maybe another 10 pounds at the beginning of this year. So I think I've lost a little over 60 pounds or so right now. I'm kind of hovering at 215 or 214 right now. And my lowest was 210.
Okay.
And the reason why I've been hovering like that is because after the first few months of the year, I lost weight and then motivation got lost because my girlfriend got awfully sick, right? Like she, in the middle of the night, got an awful panic attack to the point where she couldn't like breathe, right? And it got to the point where we were both scared. She always kind of felt like her health wasn't doing that great, but she didn't really know what it was. She just kind of felt sick or just felt depressed or had anxiety, this, and this. And when you have depression and anxiety, which I personally don't have, so I can't relate to it, but when she explains things to me, she's just like, that's just how you feel. And then you think that everyone else has it and they just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Right. Like they look happy, but they're probably hiding it. And I'm like, sweetie, I don't feel those things. I mean, I get upset sometimes, but I don't really ever get depressed. I don't really get that anxious. I mean, you could have that. I mean, I don't know. Right. So I could never relate to her on that level. But when she had this panic attack, she literally couldn't breathe and we were up the entirety of the night. And then it happened the second night. And then I had to go stay with my family and they had to kind of help keep her breathing so I could kind of get sleep so I could go back to my job. And we were like, we have to take you to the doctor. And we took her to the doctor. And when we found out is she got tested. They were just trying a bunch of tests to see what's going on with her. Right. And the results came back. And what she was concerned about was her mom and I believe her grandmother have something called Hashimoto's, which is a disease that basically is your immune system attacking your thyroid. Oh, wow. Right. And it affects your hormones and your balance and everything. So it can make you have coarse, dry hair. It can make you have anxiety. It can create depression. For women, I know it like messes up their menstrual cycle. Like they won't even get periods for like months on end and stuff. Wow. And all these different things can affect them. And it's more common in women than it is in men. But it's not always common in younger people, so you don't really think about it. A lot of doctors will sometimes think it's just depression or anxiety. Right. In reality, it's a symptom letting them know there's something else bigger going on. So when she went there, she told him, hey, my mom and this have Hashimoto's. Can you please test for it? So they like test your thyroid. They tested all of her vitamin levels, and the results came back, and it was completely shocking, and it freaked her out. Right. So for us, like when you do a thyroid test, the scale is between 0 and 60. Right. And that's where you're supposed to be. Her test came back and she was at 3,200. Whoa. Okay, so that number is astronomical, and that's immediately a key to say you probably have Hashimoto's, right? And so the doctor was like, yeah, you kind of have that. And then they told her about her vitamin D levels, and there's like low vitamin D where the doctor's like, just go out and get some sun. Like that's what he would tell me. And he told her, I'm like, I don't even know how you're functioning. Wow. He's like, it doesn't matter if you go outside and get the sun right now. You don't even have vitamin D in your system.
That is insane.
And so that was affecting my health and fitness, and my girlfriend felt awfully guilty about it. And for me, I was like, you know what? I'd rather be a little fat than lose my girlfriend. You know what I mean? No, so yeah. You have to make your choices. And I think this is also a reality point is you may make great progress, but life events are going to happen and they're going to stop you no matter what. Yeah. And if anything, what's kind of shocked me too is I probably got worried and stressed and wanted to take care of her, and I wanted to be there for her because I was always at my job and she'd be at home sick, and I'd be like, man, I feel really bad that I'm not there with her. Home, yeah. And so I would stop counting my calories, you know, and I could tell that I was constantly thinking in my head, I probably gained 10 pounds this week. I thought I gained like maybe 9 pounds. Like I think I lost all my progress. When I look at myself in the mirror, I don't feel as thin as I used to. In reality, it's like I'm just consuming more sodium. I look more bloaty. And then I weigh myself and I really gained like 2 pounds. Like it's never really that much, but you think that mentally. Right. Like you don't want to lose all that progress. And for her, what we ended up discovering later is that she needed to have a more restrictive diet. So like what we were talking about, how you do keto, for her, it's I don't think it's even fully, I think it's even more strict than paleo. But basically, she found this book based off Hashimoto's, and there's a doctor that just focuses on that disease itself. And they tell them certain foods actually are bad for people with Hashimoto's because it'll actually alert itself to tell it to attack your hormones and your thyroid and stuff. So for her, this is what's going to sound weird. So like oatmeal, grains, certain high glycemic fruits like mangoes and stuff. If she were to eat that, her body will immediately go into defense mode and be like, we need to attack this.
Wow.
And for you and me, we could probably eat it and be completely fine. So this whole month, I think she's done on Tuesday, which I give her so much credit for having the willpower to do it, is she basically can eat grass-fed meat. It has to be no hormones, no nothing. So we basically bought organic meat. She had organic chicken, and she couldn't even eat certain vegetables like potatoes because they turn into sugars, and sugars are bad for Hashimoto's, and it would attack her.
Right.
So she couldn't have anything with refined sugars either, even vegetables that would turn into sugar. She could only have the certain fruits, and she couldn't have gluten. So basically, her diet was just chicken, ground beef, and then we had something called yuca, which is like a root vegetable, which is pretty common in Hispanic culture. And I would kind of bake that off for her. And that's basically all she was eating. And she's lost probably around, last time we weighed her, she lost 7 pounds in 3 weeks.
Wow.
Which is a lot. And she's always sat at the same weight for months and even years, to be honest. And when she lost all that weight, she realized her skin was clearing up. She wasn't feeling as sick afterwards. She was starting to feel a little bit better. And this isn't like a permanent thing. It's just for 30 days. And then she can slowly incorporate maybe some grains and stuff back in. But a lot of those foods are destroying her. And it's awful to see that. And so it's crazy. But what hurts me more is that she ate that diet and I didn't. Right? I'm in that household with her every single day. And for me, as someone who's focusing on health and fitness.
Yeah, you're like, I should have been doing this the whole time.
And as a motivator, right? Like I'm trying to motivate myself, but I want to be a good, I guess, image for other people. But I also want it to be honest. So like every week after that, I was posting videos. I'm like, guys, my girlfriend's doing great. I'm still not counting anything. And there's not really an excuse at this point. She's feeling better. I'm choosing not to eat better. And that's one of those things I don't think people talk about either, is like you can make great progress. Your job could literally be fitness and health, like what I'm trying to do, and you still screw up constantly. Yeah. And it's just one of the things about acknowledging it and understanding where you are, and then push yourself to get past that barrier, know where you are, know what you have accomplished, and go set your goal and get moving. Yeah. And that's what I've been really trying to do a lot lately. And so when you reached out, it was really weird. You reached out like 3 weeks ago, and it was during that process of me. And you're like, I really like your progress, what you're doing. I want to talk about it. I'm like, man. And you start saying yes to more things. I need to be going out and doing more, and then just being honest and sharing things with people.
Yeah.
So
definitely. Yeah. And that's kind of how I feel about this podcast too, because it's like, I want to be as transparent as possible with certain things. And also, you know, of course I care if people listen, but if I get 10 listeners versus 1,000 listeners, like people are listening. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I started the podcast with no intentions. I just wanted to get it out there, create content, and maybe talk about some things that people will be interested in. Sure. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that you have a niche, because I don't have a niche. Sure. I don't have a niche for the podcast. I don't have a niche for my photography. I just kind of do it, and I try to do it all. Yeah. And that could help you but hurt you at the same time. You know, a lot of people who have a niche usually gain a lot more followers too, or a lot more, you know, traction because of that niche. Yep. But it's like, you know, sometimes you could look at my photography page and you're like, all right, Juan, what direction are you going in here? Sure. You know, you do portraits or do you do fucking creepy Halloween pictures all the time, you know? Yeah. So, but yeah, dude, like I'm extremely proud of everything that you've accomplished already. Not necessarily just in your YouTube videos, but like in your health and fitness for yourself, you know? Thanks. So yeah, I'm very proud of you. Yeah,
I think you're doing good too. I think the thing that people don't notice as well is I may be at this point in my life, but look, I'm 28 now and I'm just getting this process moving, right? Everyone, it takes time to really figure it out. And to be honest, I didn't even know if fitness was going to be the niche. I just knew that my fitness had to be important to my health. Yeah. And then I realized I also really enjoy working with people and helping people in general. And I kind of started to learn to kind of put 2 and 2 together, because years ago I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to go to California, do things. And
you're a good actor too.
Thanks. But I was like doing it, and I realized, wait, I don't have the the level of motivation that they do. You know what I mean? Like you look at Jared Leto or like Gary Oldman, or you look at who's the guy from Lincoln? Why am I blanking on him right now?
I have no idea.
Daniel Day-Lewis. He's like a really big method. Yeah. So all of them, like you can tell it's their passion and they love it as an art and they don't care about the money, right? That's not what they care about. And for me, immediately I was thinking about being an actor. I'm like, if I go to California right now, I'm not going to have my full-time job. I'm not going to have an apartment to myself. I'm not going to have this certain independence. And that's not the lifestyle that I wanted to have. I was like, that means I don't love it that much. That means it may be just a hobby for me. And that's okay.
If you have to question it, then you probably shouldn't do
so I started doing this fitness thing. And like, I would love for this to become something. But right now I do still have my full-time job. You know, I'm going to put this out there. I know I'm probably not going to get that much traction. As you said, some things get certain views and some of them don't. My most viewed video is a food review video.
Really?
Like 1.2 is 1,200 views right now.
Wow.
I get like 26 views a day on that video. All my other videos are like 18, 10.
Yeah.
Some of them have like 50 or 100.
But it's the consistency is what's going to start gaining the people.
Not only that, but I also understand too is that this isn't the point where they're going to want to come to my channel yet, right? Like my goal is to get to the fitness level that I feel is good for me. I don't need to be The Rock, but I mean, if I can have the motivation of going to the gym that much,
Rock,
but if I have the motivation to go to the gym and feel really healthy and feel strong and look good for myself, and I get to that point, then that's what's going to matter the most. And then people will probably come at some point. And if I don't need millions of followers, I don't need all that kind of stuff, but I would love to be able to take my experience going through it and sharing with other people, because you look at people like Steve Cook, Nicky Blackler, all those people, a lot of them were probably thin before and then got fit, or they were always kind of fit. They never really had the journey of being chunky and actually losing the weight. And that was my problem. I couldn't find anybody to relate to. Yeah. So I wanted to kind of be there for people to relate to. That's kind of what it was.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
And the fact that you started a vlog, man, vlogs are so fucking hard, dude. And I give you props.
I try to figure it out each week, and I always feel like I don't do enough.
You know, I tried to do a vlog probably about 2 years ago, and I failed miserably. And like, I think the fact that I had a video put together and I watched the whole thing and I said, you know what? I'm not doing this. Yeah. And I gave up. And that's like something that I regret, because I'm like, well, where would I be now if I had continued doing it?
Consistent, yeah.
I still want to do a vlog. It's still something that I want to do and something that I feel passionate about. And I feel passionate about it because I want to do it so bad. Yeah. You know? And I think that I have a lot to offer, especially with my photography and you know, just everything media that I do. Why not do a vlog? Yep. And I'm still fucking terrified from the last time that I tried to do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I give you big props.
Thanks, brother,
for doing that.
Yeah. I'd say don't be so hard on yourself either. I think what's important for you too is that take all the things that you enjoy and just do them. People will know that it's genuine because you care about it. So who cares if you do crazy Halloween photo shoots, regular photo shoots, that you want to do a vlog, that you want to do like 7 podcasts. What I've learned is that you constantly think about everyone's opinion. And in reality, it's not their opinions that actually matter to you. The only things that matter to you are the ones that are actually probably it's helping them, or they're feeling they can relate to at that level. And that's something that it takes time to learn to adapt to that.
It does. And I've always been hard on myself all my life. Sure. You know, so it's hard to, you know, I'll take a picture, even the most recent photo shoot I did, and I'm editing these pictures and I'm like, I fucking hate these pictures. They're fucking garbage. Why am I even doing this? And then I send them to the person who I did them for, and then they're like, wow, Juan, you did it again. So they're awesome. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, in my head, I just did this terrible fucking shoot, you know? Right. So it's also hard because you do compare yourself to other people that are far ahead of you. Yeah. But then you shouldn't be, you know, you don't compare your chapter 10 to someone else's chapter 50. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that I do struggle with is my personal anxiety and my personal fear that I'm not doing good enough. Yeah. You know? Yeah. But I do like to challenge myself though. Yes. So like when I do the photo shoot and then I'm editing them, I'm like, okay, well, how can I make these the best that I can make them for these people? Yep. Even though before editing, I'm like, God damn it, why did I do that? Yep. You know, why did I do this? Why did I do that? I
hate that.
And then the whole thing with starting the vlog is like, it's something for me to challenge myself with again, especially the fact that I failed at it 2 years ago and just quit. Yeah. that probably 3 years now, but just putting out one video would be a big step for me. So
yeah. Well, even for me, like I started, remember I told you I did one video. I did it and I posted it at the beginning of the year. And then for that year, I didn't do anything else. So I literally blocked it because I was like, this isn't doing it for the right reasons. But even when I started actually doing it consistently every week,
right,
I was constantly thinking, my camera sucks. Everyone has better cameras, right? In every video, they tell you, like, just start with what you have, right? And I'm like, but if I'm going to start this journey, I need these photos to look as HD as possible because I need them to know it's real and it's not fake. Because sometimes, every time you watch a weight loss video, it always looks like it's potato quality. Every time. I don't know why, but it's always the beginning. And so I was like, I need to take better photos. I need to do this, this, and this. And that's all I worried about. And I was like, this isn't even about the freaking camera.
I did the exact same thing, dude. Like, I bought... So, when I bought my camera, I didn't even buy it for photography.
Yeah.
I bought it to vlog.
Yeah.
So I bought this camera, and then I was like, well, I can't start my vlog until I have this lens.
Yeah.
And then I bought the lens, and I was like, well, this lens isn't working out because I have a crop sensor camera.
Yep.
So I bought the Nifty 50. So, like, when I was trying to vlog, I was like, I'm cutting off half of my face. So then I was like, well, I can't vlog until I get a wider lens for my camera. So, like, I just made up so many excuses.
Always.
And then when I finally did it, I was like, I suck at this. I'm never doing this again.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
So, so like I said, big props to you for sticking to it and doing it and continuing to do it. Maybe when I start my vlog, we can collab and do something together. That'd be cool.
Yeah, definitely.
When I start it. Not making any promises yet, but it'll happen.
I'll hold you to it.
Oh, you better. Somebody needs to do it. So, all right, man. So thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah.
We got through a lot of good stuff today.
I would say so. I don't think we did that bad. We didn't pre-plan it. We did great.
Yeah. I mean, I had nothing written down except for
totally fine.
Javi.
Yeah.
That's all I said.
Should I do my plug at the end? Is that what I do? It's the end?
Yeah. So we're going to do that in just a second. I do have to ask you one thing.
What's up?
Which is, I've been wanting to ask you this since I was like 14 years old.
14.
Okay. You are Hispanic, right?
I'm half Puerto Rican.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's funny, you don't really think about it, right? And not only that, but like for myself, I always thought like, well, Puerto Ricans aren't fair skinned, right? They don't have this hair color. Some of them do. The hair color is more of a genetic thing. I get that more from my mom, but there's actually a lot of fair skinned Puerto Ricans. So when I look at photos of my dad, he actually has the same skin color, kind of pretty similar. I can tan a little bit more, but yes, I look more fair skinned and I take my mom's genetics more. So my name's pretty Hispanic. So that usually kind of gives that away, but yes.
All right. So, before we get out of here, I'm gonna have you plug yourself. So plug whatever you'd like: Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever.
Yeah. So my Instagram, my Snapchat, and my YouTube is all X Robles Fitness. So it's my first initial X, Robles Fitness. You can find me on YouTube. I think I have like 70 videos or so right now, but Instagram's on there. I try to post
70.
Weekly. I have like 79 or 80.
That's awesome.
Well, I did it for 52 weeks for the first year, so that's kind of where I got most of them. So yeah, check it out. I post every Sunday usually. So for my videos.
Awesome.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it, man. That's all I got.
There's nothing else there. All right.
Pretty simple and straightforward.
Cool. Well, thanks for listening to Deep in Some Thoughts. This is episode 12. My good friend Javi. Hopefully we can get together more often.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I haven't seen you since Pima.
Yep, since Pima.
And I think we were going to like auditions and stuff like that. And
oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I think you did more auditions than I did, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wasn't a student, and then they found out. So like I was a student technically.
Yeah.
And I did this audition, and they're like, I don't think I recognize you from. And I went because of Brendan.
Right.
And then I was like, you know what? And I signed up for a class, and
yep.
You know, I never continued my college career, but you know, that's where I was at.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you for listening to Deep in Some Thoughts. This is episode 12. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, review, all that good stuff. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Deep in Some Thoughts, YouTube at Deep in Some Thoughts Podcast. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email us at deepinsomethoughts@gmail.com.
You did it.
I did it, man. I did it. And the last thing I have to say is Javier.
Stay happy, stay healthy. Don't give up on yourself.
Wow, that was good. I'm just gonna cut it right
Just gonna
there.
use that.
Stay happy, stay healthy, and don't give up on yourself. All right, say goodbye, Javier.
Goodbye, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye bye.